Robbie Keane is heading to South Korea this weekend, and Celtic still do not have a manager. There is a huge question being asked today about who is actually running this process, and a former player who worked under Martin O'Neill has just delivered a very honest verdict on whether the 74-year-old has the energy to stay. We have also got a Celtic player breaking his silence on the Wilfried Nancy era, and Chris Sutton delivering his verdict on a transfer Celtic fans are desperate to see happen. Let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. The Celtic manager search is ongoing, and a big question is being asked in public today that a lot of supporters are thinking privately. Who is actually making this decision? Celtic News has laid out what is known and what is not known about the process. On the clearest end of the picture, Dermot Desmond is the key figure. He has been repeatedly reported as the man holding talks with both Robbie Keane and Martin O'Neill directly. Nobody is questioning his involvement. The question is, what else is going on around it? Michael Nicholson, as chief executive, would normally be expected to have a formal role in an appointment of this size. Even if Desmond is driving the discussions, Nicholson would be expected to handle contracts, communication, and the wider football plan. But Nicholson's own position has come into question among supporters after his low public profile since before Wilfried Nancy's exit. Brian Wilson, as interim chairman, has formal board responsibility. But with the permanent chairman role still unfilled, and Wilson having previously ruled himself out of taking it long term, how central he is to this particular decision is not clear. Chris Mackay, as Chief Financial Officer, would naturally be looking at salary and backroom costs. Sean Maloney, who has been linked with a senior football operations role and was involved around the first team during O'Neill's title run, may also carry some weight in the conversation. The point being made is a fair one. If this appointment works, the people behind it will take credit. If it goes wrong again, supporters will want to know exactly who made the call. Celtic have had a brilliant end to the season, but the chaos that came before it has not been forgotten. The board cannot afford another messy process. The time to get this right is now. Now for the main story, as Robbie Keane remains firmly in the frame to become the next Celtic manager, with fresh confirmation today that he has already held talks with Dermot Desmond as the club continues weighing up their options. Martin O'Neill has also spoken with Desmond amid ongoing uncertainty around his own future. O'Neill delivered the League and Scottish Cup double this season, but whether he has the appetite to commit to a full campaign at the age of 74 is a question that has not yet been answered. What makes this update particularly interesting is the timing. According to Sky Sports reporter Anthony Joseph, Keane is still expected to travel to South Korea this weekend to play for Liverpool legends against Barcelona legends in a Champions Impact tournament in Seoul. There is no indication those plans have changed. That will naturally raise eyebrows among Celtic supporters. The club is without a permanent manager, pre-season is approaching, 8 players are heading to the World Cup, and the candidate most strongly linked with the job is flying to South Korea for a legends match. That said, no announcement is imminent and the process is clearly still ongoing. Keane is not Celtic's manager yet, so it is perfectly reasonable for him to honour existing commitments. But it adds to the sense of frustration around the timeline. Whoever takes this job is going to land straight into an enormous amount of work. A significant rebuild is expected. Contract decisions, recruitment targets, departures and pre-season planning all need to be addressed quickly. Every day without an appointment is another day lost on preparation. In other news, a former player who worked under Martin O'Neill at Aston Villa has questioned whether the 74-year-old would have the energy to remain as Celtic manager for a full season, and the comments have added another dimension to the ongoing debate around who takes the job permanently. Brad Friedel, the former USA international goalkeeper who played under O'Neill at Villa for 2 of his 3 years there, was full of praise for his former manager's intelligence and man management ability. He described him as the smartest manager he ever played for, and recalled a particular meeting early in his time at Villa where O'Neill made it absolutely clear who was in charge. But when asked whether he would be surprised to see O'Neill commit to a longer stint at Celtic, Friedel was honest. Speaking to Mr. Q, he said, "It doesn't surprise me that he went in and won trophies with Celtic. What would surprise me a little bit is if he had the energy to do a 3-year stint after this. I think when he went in as the interim, he went in solely as a friend of the club. And you could tell by his mannerisms and his press conference that he was really relaxed in doing that and just having a great time. Then when Wilfried Nancy went in and it didn't work out and you saw Martin take over again, he was a little bit different, a little bit more serious. He took on board what was really going wrong when Nancy was there and he changed it. Just look at the turnaround and then winning the double. It was brilliant. He's up there with one of the best I played for, and he's definitely the most intelligent manager that I played for. So the praise is enormous. But the question of whether O'Neill has the sustained energy for a full campaign rather than an interim rescue mission is the one hanging in the air. That is his decision to make. Whatever he decides, he will leave this club with nothing but goodwill. In other news, Chris Sutton has delivered his verdict on whether Celtic should make a move for Marcelo Saracchi this summer, and it is a measured rather than enthusiastic response. Saracchi spent the season on loan from Boca Juniors, largely playing backup to Kieran Tierney at left-back. But when he did come on, he offered something different. His energy, dribbling ability and directness gave Celtic an option from the bench that could unlock games. His most memorable contribution came in the title decider against Hearts on the final day when he came off the bench and helped create the momentum that led to the 87th minute goal that put Celtic firmly in control of the title. Despite that, Boca are reportedly looking to move him on permanently, and Celtic have not yet tabled a formal offer. Sutton, speaking on the William Hill SPFL channel, gave his honest take. He said, "He's a decent footballer, but I'm not so sure he has the legs. He's probably a better footballer than Kieran Tierney. When he goes into that inverted fullback role, he has better awareness of what's around, but he's not as good of a one versus one defender as Tierney." So Sutton sees the quality, but has doubts about whether Saracchi can handle the physical demands of a full season as the main left-back option. Tierney remains first choice and featured 53 times across all competitions this season, so the need is for reliable cover rather than a direct challenger. Whether Saracchi fits that role at the right price is the question Celtic need to answer this summer. Lastly, Celtic defender Austin Trusty has broken his silence on the Wilfried Nancy period, speaking publicly for the first time about what it was like from inside the dressing room during those 33 chaotic days. Nancy was appointed at the start of December after Brendan Rodgers left, and O'Neill stepped aside. He went on to lose 6 of his 8 games in charge, including defeats to Rangers, Motherwell, and a League Cup final loss to St Mirren. He was sacked after just over a month in the role. Trusty, who played a big part in Celtic's eventual title and Scottish Cup win under O'Neill, spoke about that period on Charlie Mulgrew's Pitch to Par YouTube channel. He said, "Obviously, what happened, happened. It didn't work out. He came in at a really hard time. The team wasn't performing at its best at that period. You can talk for days about what went wrong, what went right, but at the end of the day, we won the league. It's not really worth getting into." You could tell he was really a good guy and really was trying his best. I know all the stuff that's said online, but as players, we can't control all that kind of stuff. But as a person, a good guy. It is a diplomatic and measured answer from Trusty. There is no throwing Nancy under the bus, no detail that stirs up controversy. The message is clear. It was a difficult period. The players know it, but they want to move forward. And they did move forward in spectacular fashion. The fact that this is still being discussed now is a reflection of how uncomfortable that period was. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.